Welcome, everybody, to the Karena, Virginia podcast. I'm so happy to be sitting here talking to all of you and grateful for each of you, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be talking to anybody. Well, maybe a few people, but grateful for each and every one of you. And I hope you're doing well or elevating yourself or lifting your vibration, however it works for you to elevate. Today, as promised, we are going to be talking about one of the most incredible manifestation techniques. And I've shared a little bit about how I found the law of attraction when I was I used to volunteer at a church sale, like a rummage sale, and they had books. And I found this old book, and it just kind of caught my attention. And the guy's name was Neville Goddard. I said, okay, let me look into this. I like the title. And I started reading it, and it was probably $1. And I brought it home, and I thought I had just found a piece of gold. And I started teaching a lot from that book many years ago, probably 25 years ago is when I started teaching from that book. And I can't even begin to tell you how many miracles I have seen from this very simple technique that is not mine. It is by Neville Goddard, who has passed away and is probably one of our amazing angels, all of us right now. So maybe you're here with all of us as we discuss this, Neville. And I thank you, Neville, because I always thank the teachers before me. As I share with you, I've learned from others before, and it's how it works. Anyway, so Neville Goddard in 1933 was in New York City. And 1933 again, so he was in New York in 1933. He was probably in his 20s at the time. So almost 100 years ago, he was with an elderly friend, and he started talking about how he wanted so much to go to Barbados. And his friend said, oh, I know how you can go to Barbados. And he said, listen, and he started talking about this mansion that he had and all the rooms. And Neville said, well, you have that? And he said, well, I am going to have it. And he started saying, you have to go into the imagination and imagine the feeling state of the wish fulfilled. This is what Neville Goddard said. This is what Neville Goddard's friend said. And so he taught Neville in 1933 how to do this. And so it's interesting to think about 1933 in New York City, Neville Goddard going into his hotel room. It's first night he does it. And for a month, he practiced what this wise man in real life taught him to do. And so I'm going to share it with you. What I love about it is that you get to do it in the resting state. So it is a manifestation technique that you do in the state of deep relaxation just before you go to sleep at night. Or it can be done if you're napping as well, like if you take a siesta or something. But for many of us, it's something that we can do as a routine in the evening. And I'll go back a little bit and just tell you that in 1933, when Neville Goddard started doing this, he did it for a month. And a month later, he randomly got an invitation for a trip to Barbados within 1 month of practicing this. And then he's written many books about it, because obviously then he started to really look into how it works and started teaching. And there's lectures by him. Anyway, so what he says is that it's not about thinking of what you want. It's about thinking to the point of feeling. So the feeling part is the true secret. If you know any of my other work, you know, I always say, don't think your way into creating the life of your dreams, because you will only be frustrated. We can't think our way out of our thoughts. That will just create more to be frustrated about. And we'll start to throw out all the different techniques that we've been taught and say, none of this works. The law of attraction doesn't work. The secret's stupid. This, whoever does this, because we're trying to work from this monkey mind. Can we change the neural pathways of the brain so that our thoughts are more at ease? Definitely. But the law of attraction comes from a feeling state that goes into a vibration state, that goes into the radiant body. Well, Neville Goddard never talked about the radiant body. That's more based on the yogic technique. So that I'm just adding here now. But I will go back and say, he did say it can't come from the thinking. The thinking is to think our way into the feeling state. So the feeling is the secret. The sleeping is the method. Again, the feeling state is the secret of how this works. The sleeping state is the method. So it's very simple and very easy to sleep for most of us, hopefully. What is not so easy is how to get into that feeling place. But I'm going to teach you. So just before you go to sleep, the subconscious mind, which think of the subconscious mind as, okay, I'm going to pause for a minute. This is not Neville Goddard. Again, this comes from yogic teachings, but I'm always going to add in a little bit of the yogic teachings because I can't help it. So think of the subconscious mind as the storehouse of pain, of trauma, the subconscious mind as the storehouse of stuff, including the ancestral stuff that we inherit, that we talked about in our last podcast. Think of that as the subconscious mind. If we go to sleep letting fears, triggers, past fears, new fears, past triggers from the day, if we go to sleep with that in the forefront of our mind, we're going to put that subconscious pattern into our feeling state. We're going to be clenched and we're going to go to sleep like that. And we're going to be reverberating through our dreams and through our sleep, that subconscious pattern. But if we take that little bit of time before we fall asleep to go into a positive, wish-fulfilling feeling state, we can bring the subconscious mind along, because the subconscious mind will follow the feelings. Think of the subconscious mind also as a really cluttered closet. And when we go in there and we start pulling things out from the back, we're like, oh yeah, Aunt Rita gave this to cousin Henry who didn't want it. And then his wife didn't want it. And then she gave it to me. And I feel like I should keep this for Aunt Rita, right? There's that. So you put it back in there, can't throw it out. And then you say, oh, these shoes still have the tag on them. They didn't really fit. They were expensive. I should really give these to friend Alice, put them back. Oh, I have all these hats. I don't have time to go through which one I want to keep. So think of the subconscious mind as all those things. You know, I have to hold on to this fear because if I don't, then something could happen. And I'll say, I should have remembered to be afraid of that, because then that wouldn't have happened, right? So that subconscious mind is cluttered with all this stuff. We don't know what to do with it. So just like we're closing that closet door and it gets all cluttered in there, that's what we do with our subconscious mind. So at night, it's just like saying to that closet, I'm only closing you for a minute. Maybe a little magic dust. Maybe some of this stuff will just kind of fall into place, but I need to sleep. I'll be back in the morning. So we can do that with the subconscious mind. We're not repressing it. We're just saying, you can come back. I know that, I know you need to, these thoughts need to be here. I'm letting you come back, but I just need a break for the evening. So you can kind of talk yourself. You command that subconscious mind. Just give me a little bit of ease, right? And then if the subconscious mind starts to come back in and gets all cluttered again, some deep breathing. Just go into that place of relaxing. Relax your fingers, your toes, your whole body. You can do any of the relaxation videos on my Karena Yoga YouTube page, or you can go to the Relax and Attract app and do some relaxation there, just to get yourself into that place of being somewhat at ease. And then we go into the Neville Goddard technique. Okay, so if you have a hard time getting to that place of being relaxed, to get to the Neville Goddard place of manifestation, do whatever you need to do to calm yourself just a little bit. And now here's the fun part. Make sure you have an intention of what it is you want to bring into your life, and have that intention with a lot of clarity. So for example, if it's that you want to bring a love partner into your life, imagine that love partner. Bring all of the senses in as well. What does that partner smell like? What does that partner look like? How does that partner walk? How does that partner eat? How does that partner sleep? Where is that partner now? And start to really have that vivid imagination of this particular person. And then start to imagine that this person is with you here now. And that scent is there. That body is there. That comfort is there, that maybe you are having a conversation with this person, and bring all of your senses in. Is this person's body warm? Are their feet cold? Are their fingers cold? Do they have a soft skin? Do they have soft hands? Do they have big hands? Do they have petite hands? Bring all of these senses in as if this partner is here and now. Right here and right now. And then you're going to clarify this desire. I am attracting this partner here and now, clarifying all of those senses again. And imagine that your desire is so real. Eye color of this person, and bring it all in and start to breathe that into your body. And again, this is not about thinking, because you're going to start to feel the excitement of this person. You're going to start to feel the comfort of this person. You're going to even start to feel the attraction, maybe even the arousal in your body of this person. So we want to bring all of these sensations in and start to feel this as it's happening when you are going into that drowsy state. And maybe even just bring a smile to your face. This is here. This is now. The eyes are closing, and you're living in that desired state as you drift off, maintaining the feeling that this desired state is so very real, bringing in your full imagination. And even as you're drifting off, starting to bring all those senses in again. What does this person smell like? and recognize the power of this imagined state, because at this moment, it's not imagined, it's real. You're really feeling the ecstasy of this experience. You're going to be thinking from it, not for it. So you're feeling because you're thinking from it. You're not putting your mind into it. The feeling state is there. You have it, and you're trusting that it will manifest, and it is manifesting. You can bring in an I am statement again. I am attracting this person. Feel the comfort, Let yourself drift into sleep. Do this for 1 month. Start to observe little signs that come along. Just trust me. As I've said before, I've been teaching these techniques for a long time. I could bring you a manual of testimonials, or I could introduce you to people who never believed in any of this stuff, who just say, I don't know, but it works. I hope this gives you a sense of hope. And I hope this gives you a sense of true awareness that you have more power within you than you maybe ever thought was possible. And co-creation it's so real. You know, the acorn didn't think before it became the tree. The sperm and the egg were not thinking when the embryo was formed. The embryo wasn't thinking to become the fetus, and the fetus wasn't thinking to become the baby. It's co-creation. And the universe, remember this one, the universe, and I'll be saying this a lot as well, the universe is always conspiring to give you what you feel you deserve. And the more that we imagine the feeling state, the more we recognize that we are worthy of that feeling state. And the more that we imagine that we are worthy of that feeling state, the more we manifest that feeling state, and the more we attract into our lives exactly what we desire to feel. So please let me know. Let me know how it's worked for you. Share this with anybody who is longing to create a life of their dreams. And this could be for anything. It could be for a new job. It could be for a new home. It could be for bringing a baby into the world. It could be for a partner. It could be for major, massive, incredible, miraculous healing. Feeling the healing, bringing ourselves to the feeling state of the healing happening. Because when we feel it, the law is we will receive it. So again, thank you all so much for being part of this very special community where we expect the best and we get it. Blessings, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Until then.